The DC double standard two-step. There is a double standard in Washington. This double standard allows Democrats to be held to no particular standard, while Republicans are held to the most exacting standards. This so-called standard is supported, enforced, and promoted by the liberal mainstream media. General Michael Flynn, President Trump's national security advisor, resigned yesterday. Had Flynn been the national security advisor for a Democrat president, no resignation would be forthcoming. In fact, if history is any indication, publicly lying is no impediment to keeping your job and even being promoted for Democrats. Need any reminders? Here's one. On September 11, 2012, the 11th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, the U.S. mission in Benghazi, Libya was attacked by terrorists. In that attack, 4 Americans were killed and an undisclosed number were wounded. Americans were shocked and demanded an explanation from the Obama administration. Sadly, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton did not make herself available to the media to answer any questions regarding the attack, despite the fact that she was directly responsible for Ambassador Chris Stevens, one of the victims. Instead, Susan Rice, the Obama administration's ambassador to the UN, went on all 5 Sunday morning talk shows and blatantly lied that the Benghazi attacks resulted from outrage over an obscure internet video insulting to Muslims. It was clear almost immediately that Rice wasn't being truthful, and her lies were repeated by other administration officials and even President Obama himself.
Putting together the best information that we have available to us today, our current assessment is that what happened in Benghazi was in fact initially a spontaneous reaction to what had just transpired hours before in Cairo, almost a copycat of the demonstrations against our facility in Cairo, which were prompted, of course, by the video. Based on the best information we have to date, what our assessment is as of the present is in fact what it began spontaneously in Benghazi as a reaction to what had transpired some hours earlier in Cairo, where, of course, as you know, there was a violent protest outside of our embassy sparked by this hateful video.
Calls for Rice's resignation were completely ignored. Nor did the media hound Obama's spokespeople with remotely the same zeal they pursued General Flynn. But the worst development in the Rice-Benghazi fiasco was yet to come. 18 months after Benghazi and Rice's lies, President Obama promoted her to be his chief national security advisor. The media raised no objections and the Republican outrage was cast as purely political. It is clear that General Flynn misled the vice president. What is unclear is whether it was deliberate or inadvertent. Either way, the optics of the situation made it appear that Pence was not being truthful. But unlike Susan Rice, General Flynn was never for a moment given the benefit of the doubt. Susan Rice was given that benefit, and the only reason for it was the politics she has in common with many in the media. In fact, Susan Rice is married to the producer of This Week with George Stephanopoulos. And Stephanopoulos is a former Clinton administration official. To protect the honor of the vice president, General Flynn did the honorable thing. He fell on his sword and resigned. But this is not a game where any points are won doing the honorable thing. Had Flynn been working for a Democrat administration, he would still be in his job and the administration would be repeating the phrase, "He misremembered," more times than you could count. Make no mistake. Flynn did the decent thing. But the Trump administration and the Republican Party are not waging a battle about decency and should not be drawn into one. The Democrat Party leadership and their cohorts in the news media are determined to have the Trump administration cannibalize itself. They will not stop with Flynn's scalp. They are out for blood and they are not going to play clean. And neither should President Trump.